Hello, welcome to another video of me talking about stuff, specifically about the story of how I got into playing Sonic Robo Blast 2 back in 2015. This video will also contain a link to the transcript in the description as I do have speech impairment, so it may be so for you to read along if some words cannot be heard correctly. And this ain't in this transcript, but I'm recording this outside since it's the only place I can record at. But background noises. So whatever you can hear is probably much better than whatever you could hear if I was recording this indoors. Okay, so back on topic. So how I got into SRP2 came from a retired content creator called Kobana My 456. I started watching back in 2014 and around February 2015. He made the video showcasing SRB2. I found the game fun and downloaded and started playing. I only played through Green Flower Zone before hopping to multiplayer mode after having the game crashing in Techno Hill Zone Act 1. Though it gets a bit embarrassing, but I'm not afraid to show how it went. I act like a little child, which might make sense if I was 11 at the time. I played on many servers in a single day until I got in trouble by my mom for setting for the plus, and after that, I never touched multiplayer mode ever again for a couple of months. Now back to single player I go. I didn't really use a mouse to play, so I ended up playing with the arrow keys with left and right being the turning buttons, not the strafe buttons, which is one reason why I was struggling a lot in the game. As far as I can remember, I could never beat Egg Rock Zone as I was so bad at the game. I eventually gave up and rage quit. Around though, I did try some mods like Kilter mods. I also learned at the time that adding any mods disabled game saving, which sucks for me because I didn't have the time to go through the entire game in one sitting back then compared to now. But I would always do a no saves run when I played the vanilla game. In terms of level mods, I started with the Sonic Adventure 2 mod pack that was actually designed for 2.0, so I ended up playing a broken version since I played it on 2.1, so the game didn't run at 100%, but was playable. Not a lot to talk about here, but around Idle Soon was like 2015. I decided to go back to multiplayer mode without my mom knowing, but with an unusual behavior. For a few months, I avoided using the set at all, but then it got to me talking by changing names. Don't ask me why I did it that way. After playing once over one day, I was searching for some videos. I forgot what I was searching for, but clicked on video and immediately realized whoever recorded that video was the same person I played with on the server. That person now go by local pizza boss today, and I refuse to tell you guys what their username was at the time because I do not dead name people. I usually refer to them as honest though. From there, I would always go up into a server whenever I'd see them post and eventually became friends from there on. Oh yeah, irrelevant, but halfway through 2015 is where I started to use my mouse to move in the camera, and I've actually forgot when I actually completed the vanilla game, but I never really got all of the secrets, unfortunately. No, I had to use a laptop's mousepad, but it wasn't bad. Moving on, weirdly enough, because of my childish behavior, I did get myself banned from many servers back in those days. Yeah, I don't know how people could stand me, let alone play on my server. I hosted using a software called PodMapper to port forward easily. And for a note, I highly recommend you not to download this as it may be a virus that I never realized back then. But yeah, a couple of people hated me back then, and I also quit the game entirely. Uh, almost. God, I made it happen. This. Yeah, I almost quit the game entirely when I once got unfairly banned for doing nothing but playing the game normally. A common thing I did back then is play as Tails and carry blows to Delves. Yeah, there was a clear reason as to why they added the option to turn off Tails pickup. Oh, and speaking of Tails, I would always play as Tails, and the color black is what I always used back then, which can explain my 2016 profile picture. We're going to sort that off anyway. I don't care anymore. Though when I'm playing as other characters, I usually have keybinds set up to quickly change kilters, but not only do I have it change kilters, it depends on the kilter. I have it set to change colors too, so my Sonic would be cyan and my Knuckles would be orange, and I have no clue on what the other colors I used for each of the modded kilters I often play with. As for modded kilters, every time I did those, I always go with the same list of modded kilters and a few other mods like Terminal stuff, whatever those called, and also admin.lua. I repeat, admin.lua. Though there were times I did use some mods I got from other servers so that may be private and I never understood at that time, so yeah. Maybe we don't talk about those for now. But back to the admin.lua though. I ended up trolling a lot by using the do for command, which lets me force anyone to use any commands. Why did this command exist? So yeah, may have done things like force the players to close the game or avoid the keybinds to be commands. But eventually came a time where I stopped using it mainly because I got tired of people using the teleport command to clear the levels instantly. So I think that's enough I can remember of that. But around December 2015, I started actually using the chat for once, and I believe many players actually got surprised that I finally changed how I speak to be like a normal human being. This didn't really change how I act, unfortunately. In March 2016, I turned 13 and eventually made a YouTube channel. Of course, the first thing I uploaded was SRB2. If you're an old viewer from 7 years ago watching this now, all I can say is hello to you right now, as it does feel hard to believe I created this channel 7 years ago while I started playing this game 8 years ago. Typing this in makes me want to record more SRB2 content later this year. In May 2016, I moved to a new home, and instead of us using a router, we ended up using a modem, which prevented me from using that mapboard software to port forward, thus ending the hosting days, and it felt a bit hard to explain it to everyone else. Do I want to talk about this part? Fuck. Especially after. No. Screw it. I have to talk about this one too, but no naming anyone in the segment. But around August 2016, Onyx introduced me to YouTuber's new Discord server at the time that used to do a lot of SRB2 content around that time. It was also the same server I did a live stream in when playing Let's Go in Mod, if anyone remembers that. We'll say there is a lot of SRB2 related stuff happening at this time, so let's skip over to what is considered as the start of the dark days. In December 2016, the start of me getting a whole lot of hate came from when I told that same server to get myself banned and gave me a lot of backlash where I recorded and uploaded, and it allowed anyone to re-upload it. Yeah, it was awfully bad. And around February 2017, well, the hate obviously spread in the SRB2 Discord server as I was jumped on by many people and had no choice but to leave. With all of this happening, it was the true end of me being seen within the community or the game itself. So I ended up not touching multiplayer again, and if I can recall, I haven't been playing the game a lot. Though I did sometimes pick back up the game to play with some friends I still have. Last I can remember being that one time in 2018. After all of that, I didn't really play the game much until 2.2 was releasing, and the moment that was released, I was waiting to play it and did a couple of live streams of it back in 2019. My activity towards the game slowly went up too, but I never considered joining any servers unless it is a friend hosting, and even at this time, I still don't even host. If you're wondering about the hate towards me, well, it's all faded away after late 2017. So I'm fully in the clear today, and I did come back to the SRBT official Discord server eventually. Forgot when though, but I did wonder why I tried looking back at my old awful messages and now you might be wondering what is my skill level now? Well, after playing since February 2016, my skill is pretty high for single player that I actively play as Sonic instead of Tails now. And I now do those no saves ones. and complete the game in one sitting when I feel like playing. Of course, I don't play every day as I have other games to play, but I'm pretty good at the game now. I even completed the Mystic Realm Frozen 5 mod twice without getting a game over in the Mystic Realm Zone world in one sitting. First time being in a no save zone, second time being in the walkthrough I uploaded earlier this year. That should be all I can talk about, and if it wasn't for me discovering SRBT, I wouldn't know Honest and other good people today. I feel glad that I did get into the game at that time too, and it is a fun game to play too. In other news, I've yet to play the 2.2 port of Torture Planet, and obviously enough, I have not gotten around to recording a playthrough of it because I have no will to record that without annoying background noises and my gaming laptop will still not return to me fit, so it will still be a while before I can get to recording on that. But as well, I'll record it.